Ray Goeke is here, and Ray is going to go through the Paraflex series of rods. Let's go over to the bench and see what Ray has for us. Before we get into the Paraflex line of rods, let's talk a little bit about Star Rods itself.
Star Rods is a very unique company. It's been around since 1958, so it makes it one of the oldest rod manufacturers in existence today. We've been making rods for a long time. We have rods to cover every application you could think of, from light inshore or freshwater rods to the heaviest offshore rods you could possibly need for every application.
Well, let's move into this Paraflex line. It really is a broad line of rods.
It's a broad line of rods, and we're doing something unique here. We've taken jigging rod technology, and jigging rods have been around for a few years now. And the traditional thinking in designing a rod to make it more powerful and lighter was to take a rod to make the thinnest wall diameter possible and increase the outside diameter of the rod to increase tapers and the way to manipulate the rods. With jigging rods now, we take the graphite, as we roll it, we make the walls thicker, but the diameter of the blanks thinner. So these are small rods, extremely light, but very, very powerful.
Right.
So our jigging rods, these have been out for a few years now. Price points are very strong, $199 on them. Designed spinning and conventional for a guy that wants an inshore rod for light tuna fishing, bottom fishing. Covers a lot of different applications.
Throwing a lot of metal, this is the thing you want.
Exactly. If you're going to be using any kind of diamond jigs or butterfly jigging or any of that stuff, these are the rods you want to be looking at.
All right, super. Well, let's keep on moving through the line a little bit here. I know that the next step we've got set up here is for the spinning rods, the Paraflex spinning rods. Tell us about them.
Yes, these are our new Paraflex spinning rods. Again, the jigging rod technology. This is an extremely thin blank diameter, but this rod is rated for up to 8 ounces on a lure for casting.
Wow.
That's an extremely large popper for somebody that's trying to tuna fish. It's also rated up for 100-pound braided line. We're using the new Fuji tangle-free K guides. These guides are very unique. You can wrap a braided line around these several times and try and tangle it, overwrap, and it will not tangle. It'll always slide free because of the taper on the guide and the cut on the backside. So they're virtually tangle-free. Guys that are throwing braid, throwing lures off a boat, this is the rod you want. They're extremely powerful. If you get into a big amberjack and you need to get it off the bottom, this is the rod you want. If you need to throw a big lure to break in bluefish, or you need to get something to a bluefin tuna, these are the rods you want to have in your arsenal.
And a super clean looking rod. I mean, you look at the fit and finish on this rod. It's got that classic Star Rod wrap on it, you know, each for the individual guides. I mean, if you look at the trim on these, I mean, it's really expertly done. It's a beautiful rod. There's a lot of folks that talk about custom rod work these days, but you know, in all honesty, I mean, you look at one of these Stars, these guys have been around for a long time and they know what they're doing, and you can tell when you look at the finish on one of these rods.
And that's what we cut our teeth on, was a lot of custom rod building. We also do put aluminum gimbals on all these rods because of the applications they're being used for. Heavy duty, very strong. It's what you're looking for when you're using that kind of rod.
All right, let's keep on moving through the line here, because as you can see, Paraflex has got a lot to offer.
We're doing the same thing in the boat rods, where we're using Fuji guides, the lower profile standard guides, all aluminum gimbals. On the heavier rods, we're doing a power, but we also do an extremely heavy rod in this, a PGB 66 XXXH. It's the heaviest boat rod that I'm aware of on the market. Got a lot of guys using it for cod fishing. I got a lot of guys using it for fishing rigs in Texas. It's a great all-around heavy-duty boat rod, but the rod in your hand weighs virtually nothing for the application.
Wow, and that's all because of the new technology that's in it.
Exactly. It's pretty amazing what you can do with the rods. And we get into the next slide. This next rod to me is really kind of amazing. Technology has changed so much. Guys are using smaller and smaller reels, but the rods really haven't changed. You have a guy that's got a small center console boat, relatively, I'm saying small, we're talking 25, 30 feet, but he's going out tuna fishing. He can't load that boat up with 8 trolling setups, a bunch of jigging rods. He's got nowhere to put it. So we've taken the jigging rod technology. This is our most popular blank, our 5'9". We do it in the heavy and an extra heavy. And we've set it up 2 different ways with trolling rod components. So you can have 2 sets of rods and use 1 reel. So you could put this rod out with the power butt, turbo guides. We also offer one with a roller top. Guy can take his small inshore or offshore braided line reel and go trolling with it. If the chunk bite starts, you can use it for chunking. You can also use it for jigging. It is the do-everything rod for a guy that's doing inshore fishing.
And I mean, you can see it's got the extended foregrip on it, so you're not going to get jammed up if you actually tie into something.
Exactly. This is a traditional setup as far as stand-up fishing goes. Short butt, long foregrip, gives you a lot of power when you're fighting the fish, and it's very unique. Nobody else is doing anything like this right now, and it covers a lot of bases, something that's been really kind of missing from the market with the change in technology as far as the reels go.
This is the Paraflex series from Star Rods. Ray, thank you very much for bringing it in and explaining it to us today. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Ed. Thanks for having me.
And we want to remind everybody that you can shop at TackleDirect.com 24/7. If you have any questions on these rods or anything else, you can call one of our product specialists at 1-888-354-7335. Or, of course, you can stop by our beautiful new 25,000 square foot showroom, shipping facility, and call center right here in Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey. I'm Captain Ed Berger from the TackleDirect Pro staff. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you out on the water.